Okay, hello everybody. I'm Scott, and I'm working on starting my own company called Chickadee Tech. And the primary product that Chickadee Tech is launching with is a platform for microcontrol systems. It's a modular platform, so what you can do is you can take a control board, kind of like this. So there's one control board. And you can stack mods on top, like this. Then, the cat is scratching the carpet. And so now we have this control board at the bottom, electrically connected, but not very connected very well mechanically. But that hooks it all up to the appropriate pins for what it wants to do. Stop. So these red boards were the first test run from the production house. I'm getting them manufactured at a place called Macrofab. And I ordered them almost exactly a week ago. I can't actually remember. And when I ordered them, the clock started ticking. Because when the first thing that they do when they order it is they order the PCBs. And that takes like a week or so. And then they order all the parts also at the same time. And then depending on how the schedule lines up with our other jobs, then they'll assemble everything. And so assembly involves putting all these little components on the board with a pick and place machine. And they get reflowed through. This is Vin. She's being annoying. So the boards get reflowed, and then after they get reflowed, they're done. Now there's a couple steps that you need to do after the boards are actually assembled. One, you need to test them to make sure that they actually work. And so one of the projects that I've been working on is a test jig, and the test jig looks like this. The green board is a STM32 Discovery board, and then this is like a shield or something on top of it. And what you can do is you can lift off, and in this case, this is the board that we're testing. So it sandwiches on like that, so you can actually test electrically through the stack. Anyway, so that's the next thing that happened in production, is that the individual boards get tested, and after they're tested and maybe fixed, they get put in an anti-static bag. There'll actually probably be smaller bags than this, and this is a larger board. This is the debug board. But this is the idea. Now, Vin, come on. She wants to play. Now, the boards, or most of the boards that I'm launching, all but one of them, have accessories that come with it too. So there's a couple different classes of accessories also that you'll get. One is that I'm sourcing aluminum bolts from a company called ProBolt out of the UK. And here's an example that I got from them. So the bag will be this size, and these are some of the aluminum screws or bolts. And then lastly, what you'll also get is you'll get a little bag of goodies, like spacers and nylon nuts, and these are 1x2 headers so that you can replace your ESC. Come on, let me kick you out. Such a nightmare. Sorry, Nancy cat. Okay, so those are all the things that you'll get. So one of the things that I've been freaking out about, I've been super busy, I've been like sleep deprived, was getting all the parts for this. I managed to order all the parts that go on the board, mostly. I say mostly because at the very end we switched slightly how many of each board was going to be made. So I had to double check that too to make sure that we hopefully will have enough parts to make everything. But I also had to source. All this stuff was pretty easy because it's also from Mouser and DigiKey, so that just went in the main order. I've got a Python script here that loads all of the bill of materials for the PCBs straight from the Macrofab API. and then it kind of aggregates it all. It says like, oh, I need 81 of this one part, and then it also says like, well, let me look at the price breakdown. So there's price tiers of like, oh, if you buy 50 or more, it's this per unit. If you buy 100 or more, it's less per unit. And so I wrote a script that says like, oh wait, I need 81, but I can spend $10 more on a like $4 a unit price, which is like 2 extra units, but I actually get 19 more because of the price drop. So there's some heuristic I have in my Python script that says, let's spend a little more money, we'll drop the unit price, and we'll sit on the inventory that we get out of it. So I ended up buying like 5,000 resistors based on that model, which will take a while to use, but that's okay. Anyway, so I had ordered the bill of materials. I double checked that the bill of materials was good. And then one of the last things I needed to do is actually buy the ProBolt stuff. I had talked to them previously. What they're going to do, hopefully to get it right, is they're going to bundle everything like I want it in these bags. So when I bought these just as tests, like this only had 2 bolts in it. It had a silver and 3 bolts. But what I want for me is I want 4 bolts and 4 nylon lockers because that's the aluminum hardware you'll get with the control boards. And also I'll make packs with taller ones also available so that if you have more space, you'll be able to stack higher. So I needed to do the order from them. So I talked to them. They're based out of the UK, and because my order was custom, I just didn't order it online. So a couple nights ago, I actually got an email from them saying like, yeah, order over the phone would be great. And so I got that at like 2 a.m. in the morning. So I called them at like 2:30. I had to figure out how to call international because my phone didn't work. So I used Google Hangouts, which was surprisingly easy. It was like $0.01 a minute, which is great because I had like 10 cents in my account. So I called them and I ordered it, and that's on the way. Basically, I'm now trying to do all the long lead time stuff. So ordering anything that needs to get shipped has been top priority because it takes time, right? So that leads me to what I was talking about, and what the title of this talk is about, is packaging. So packaging also takes material that we need to have at Macrofab at the time that it needs to be packaged. So the challenge, and the thing that I needed to figure out, was I needed to take this bag with the PCB, this bag with all the odds and ends, and this bag with the aluminum hardware, and I needed to package it. Now, what does that mean? It means that I want you, when you get this, to get these 3 things as a unit, right? I don't want you to have 3 bags, and if you buy like multiple things, you got to figure out like which set of odds and ends goes with what, which aluminum hardware goes with what, which PCB is which. So that's the reason I wanted to figure out packaging. Is I wanted you to get this as a unit, and I also want to provide you with another couple extra things. First, I want to provide you just a little bit of information to get you going. So that you know where to start. So for all my boards, there's a URL on the board that will take you to the store webpage, which also has all of the documentation, the open source files, and everything. So that's really cool, but you don't know that unless you just heard me say it. So I wanted some sort of material, either a sticker or a business card or a box, that would say basically like, this is what a URL looks like. And for this product, here's the particular URL. Go here. We'll have good instructions, hopefully. Those are later. I still have to do those. But we'll have good instructions. We'll be able to update them. That's the advantage of putting a URL on the packaging and on the board, instead of actually providing the documentation, is that I can update the documentation as we figure out what the issues are. So that was another piece, is that we needed to provide information to the purchaser so that they can get started. And also, I wanted to give them the support email. Basically, if anything goes wrong, email me here. It's a on the back end, the support email is a Google group, and then my personal email is the only member of that right now. So email support@chickadee.tech, and you'll get me. Okay, so the challenge and then the other, so I said there was 2 more things that I wanted to include. The other thing that I wanted to include was a sticker for marketing purposes. So I wanted a branded sticker that you could put on there and stick on things. I've actually polled our Facebook group, Seattle Multi-Routers, and I said, do you want rectangular stickers or do you want smaller round stickers? And the advantage of round stickers, I think they'd fit better on your Fat Sharks. I haven't actually tried, but that's the theory. Okay, so that sets the stage. What we need to do is we need to fit these 3 bags together, and we need to provide some information about how to get started, and we need to provide a sticker. Now the question is, what kind of container do you put that in? And how do you provide the information on that container? There's a number of options. One of the easiest ones, I think, is just a plastic bag, like a larger plastic bag. And then if you need to provide information with it, I think my Blackout came with a business card with information on it, which is good, but business cards can be kind of pricey. And plastic, you don't need more plastic. Like I already just showed you 3 plastic bags. It's not good for the world to have okay, I got an email from the manufacturer. Gonna have to order more parts, which I can do. That's another story. I won't go into that now, even though I want to. So a plastic bag, we could use either a sticker or a business card on that. But I got this idea of, I can design a box. Like, how cool would a box be? Because part of what Polystack is you can stack things on top of each other. So what if, and one of the pieces of information I wanted to provide was a diagram of, like, here's how you stack one thing on top of another. Like, you put the board, and then you put the spacers that match the height, and then you put nylon lockers to top it all off. And I wanted to, that was one of the pieces of information I wanted to give, because I found that, like, people don't really know where to start. So I was thinking, a box would be really cool because you could stack the boxes and have a diagram, like, formed out of all the boxes. So I started looking at box solutions. I talked with a company called Your Box Solution, and they sent me these samples of different size boxes that they do. And these are just, they're pretty thin material. They're not really, like, they're not corrugated at all. You can see that it's like a craft material. It's like craft boxes. This is the box that I was going to use for the test jig bottom, and here. And they have some really cool, they have a really cool policy where they give you the quantity discount overall for how many boxes of a particular size that you buy, regardless of how many designs there are. So I was thinking, great, I can do 1 box per board, and then I'll be able to have different boxes for every board, and they'll be able to stack, and you'll get this cool diagram, and you can, like, twist. You can have, like, 2 different diagram options based on whether it's, like, in the middle or the top. But there's a caveat there. They have a design minimum. So even though they give you the quantity discount, you still got to order 250 of every design, which is a lot. So, like, some of the boards I'm making 20, right? So I would have 10 times as many as I want. And I also wanted to have, like, board specific, version specific information on there. So, like, the full URL with the version number. If I made the boxes more general, I could then like, share across products and things, but that makes the information more vague and kind of harder to understand. So didn't really want to do that. And then I actually hadn't gotten these boxes yet, the box samples. What I did is I realized, packaging is everywhere, which sounds like a cliche when I say it, but it is. So I was going to the grocery store, and I realized, the grocery store is going to have lots of just boxes and packaging. And then on the way there, I walked by a local jewelry maker, and I ducked in there to see how they did their packaging. And they gave me a couple things. One thing they gave me is this brown paper bag. And they stamped this thank you on the back. And it's a 3.5 by 5 1/4, just flat paper bag, which I thought, They gave me a couple of them, and I got to try that. It's kind of cool. You can think of it. It's typically used for postcards. Are you gonna behave now, Ben? So that's for flat gifts like postcards and things. You'll get a bag like that. So they gave me that, and then I also looked around and I found this. This is a caramel box. It's called a pillow box, and the idea is that you can open the sides and you have like a little bit of room. And I was like, maybe that's good. Because the thing is, the boards are only 1.5 by 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. So if we look at that, like there should be plenty of room for that to go in there. Although it will be in a bag. And we can actually, let's just do that. I never actually did this. I settled on something else. One of the downsides of this pillow thing is that they don't fit very well. So let's jam it in there. So you get the idea, like you have to fold the bag up, jam it in there, and then we can close it. As a bonus, I got some caramels, which is cool. So that's what you would get. But it's not really the aesthetic. It's like not round. It's like rounded and stuff. It does kind of fit, but it doesn't fit that well. And then when you open it, let's see, like you get all these like folded, wrinkled bags, which wasn't a huge fan of. The next thing we could do. One thing I also found at that store is a soap box, which is it's a small box. It's pretty tall because it had bar soap in it. And I also found at the grocery store another soap. Well, it's an aftershave soap thing. It's by the same company, actually. I found them at 2 different places by the same company, and I liked this form factor because I hadn't seen these smaller ones yet. So what I did is I just took one of these boxes, and I did just what I did. So I just stuck. Does this one not fit? This is the larger board, so it takes a little bit more space. So I stuck it in there, and like it's still hanging out, so like I'd have to fold it over. Now this anti-static bag is actually a little large for this board. Macrofab's got smaller anti-static bags. But it didn't close very well. And this is on the larger end of the boxes I was looking at. So you can see that like I got these boxes later actually after I decided. But you can see that I'm having trouble with the large box when I was already looking at the smaller boxes. And the price of this box was something like 70 cents a box. And they warned me that this box was even more because they could fit fewer in a sheet. Plus the minimums were too high. So I didn't really like the boxes. Instead what I did is I took the brown paper bag and it's So I took their brown paper bag and I just folded it and I slid it in. I was like, And it just like slid in there just fine. I could take this and slide it in. And it's like super nice and flat. I don't know if you can see that. It's like, so shipping it should be easy because it doesn't take a lot of volume. That's the thing with the box too, is, and I emailed Macrofab, I was like, how big do you ship? How big are the boxes you ship with? Because it depends. If I put it in a bigger box, like this box, it'll change the overall box size depending on how many things you order. So I liked this. I liked that this is a relatively small paper bag, so it's like 3.5 by 4, which is like double the size of the actual board itself. But it turns out that this size fits a lot of the other bags perfectly if you fold them over once. So the anti-static bags will hopefully fit really nicely, and the screw bags fit nicely. I already confirmed the screw bag is the same one that I have in here. So if we're not using a box, we don't do a custom design, we do a sticker for the information. And that was kind of the next thing to do. And the goal here was like the goal I had with the boxes, which is providing specific information to the board that you get in the bag on the sticker. And I found that I looked and looked at all these like different sticker places, and I settled on moo.com, which is definitely not one of the cheapest places to order stickers, but it turns out that, well, one, they're high quality. I've got business cards from them before and been happy with them. So I kind of know that the company's reputation is good. And then what they also allow is they allow something that they've branded Printfinity, which is for business cards and stickers. You can have up to 15 or 50 different designs in a batch that you order. So this is similar to the Yearbox solution, where you get the quantity discount for different designs, which is great because I'm ordering 12 different designs or more, and being able to bundle those all together makes it cheaper for me per unit. The sticking point with Yearbox solutions was the order minimum. So the order minimum, or like the design minimum on moo.com for the stickers, is a little bit trickier because of it's not a set in stone minimum. You can buy 50 total stickers and get one design on each sticker, which is like 33 cents a sticker. But as you scale up to more and more stickers, you're still limited by that divided by 50 design limit. So if I order 500 stickers, I can order a minimum of 10 of one design because they run 10 full sheets of 50 stickers to get 500 stickers, which is looking pretty good because I'm working on the order of tens of designs. I ran the numbers and I was doing 471 total packages. I think that's what it was. And because of that imperfection about how many of each design I wanted, I couldn't actually do 500 stickers. I needed 51 design slots and only had 50. The reason that is like if I had 25 of one package, I needed 3 kind of design slots out of that 50 to get 30 out at the end. But then I was like, I need marketing too. I need more than just the stickers on the packages. Like ideally I would have marketing stuff too. I had already settled on kind of like rectangular stickers for the packaging because they're larger and they can fit more information. And then some round stickers to go inside the packaging as marketing. But then also I could just have like rectangular stickers to just give out. So I decided to bump up to the 750 sticker order, and so then I had to just figure out like exact quantities. So if I had 25 of one design, or I needed 25 of one design, I ordered 2 kind of slots of that to give me a total of 30. And the nice thing about that 750 run is I had enough to make sure I have a little extra in case they get screwed up. So that's like all the ordering details I've dealt with in the last week. I basically sorted all this out in the last week. So let me show you what I settled on. This is using an older prototype. So I showed you the back of this bag, but what I didn't actually show you is the front. And it's got this like black and white printout of the design. And I'll show you the old design. The way that it would work is that the bag is folded over and it's held in place by a sticker, which in this case is actually just taped, because it's not a sticker. But then what you could do is you could either tear the paper bag, or you can actually tear the sticker and open it up and then take everything out nice and easy, which is awesome. I think what is actually going to happen is that the macrofab also needs a barcode and a SKU number on here. So I think what's more likely going to happen is we'll put this large sticker on the back, so you don't have to tear it to get it open, and then we'll put the SKU number here. But we'll see. We haven't actually done that yet. So that's this design. This is an older prototype. Basically, I tried to do it 1-to-1 just to get an idea of how big it is. So the size should be accurate and how readable the text is in terms of text size. Funny thing, before I get into the design part of these stickers, turns out this bag size is really unique. They had mentioned to me that they get them off Amazon, and I measured it, so I knew it was 3.5 by 5.25 or so. And I looked and looked and looked. A lot of packaging is usually bought from a company called Uline, but their smallest flat bags were like 5 by 7, I think, which is larger than this. And this size I loved. It's perfect. So I looked and looked, and I found bags like this available on Amazon and on eBay. And it turned out they're by the same seller. They're My Craft Supplies out of Tennessee, I think. And I went on their website because I prefer to just order from them if I figure it out. And they didn't have it. So I emailed them. I was like, you've got bags like this with varying sizes, but you don't have the size that I actually want. And they're like, oh yeah, we didn't realize it wasn't on the website. So I ordered bags from them. So that was one of the things I ordered. And then I also actually ordered the next size larger, the 5 by 7, to hold the large test board for when I sell that. And they were like 3 cents a bag. So we're not using plastic. It's kind of opaque, which is I actually kind of like. The smaller bag with the odds and ends is transparent, so you can pick out what you want. So that was deliberate. And so I had ordered the bags. Macrofab is going to source the small plastic bags for me. The anti-static bag is included in the price for the PCB, and the Pro Bolt people are putting all of the aluminum bolts in the bag. So all I needed to do was I needed to do the sticker order. So there's kind of 3 parts of the sticker order. There's these stickers, which is the packaging stickers. There's extra marketing rectangular stickers that I will get because I'm ordering too many total stickers. And then there's the round stickers that will be packed in every one. And because this is a platform, I didn't want people to receive all of the same sticker. So if you're going to buy 3 of these to as like a starter kit to get you going, and I didn't want you to pull the same sticker out of 3 of them. That would be kind of lame. And Osh Park, who does prototype PCBs, they started doing this thing. For every order, they include a sticker, and the sticker's got a number on it, and the number tells you, like, have you missed one? Like, if you get number 7, you know there's 6 other designs that you don't have. All right, so I'm going to switch to the computer. And first what I wanted to show is just kind of like, now that all the tech side is done, I kind of have laid out each of these are deadlines for launching, actually, and things that need to be finished by that time. So this production order one is the one I was just working on. So I had things like order packaging. I don't know if I can't show you the archived ones, but it was ordering all the parts, ordering the boards, ordering all the packaging, double checking parts, which I'm actually going to have to do here shortly because we are going to need to do an extra part order. And then the next step is this production test. So these are all the things that I need to have done by the time they're actually testing and packaging things. So most of it's around figuring out or finishing the test jig and the software for the test jig. Not the hardware. The hardware should be ready. And then also the default beta flight and race flight that get flashed on all of the control boards by default. So once that is ready, we'll be able to fully produce and package everything. And then the next step is launching. And I'm doing a 2-phase launch because I want to get some initial feedback from people I actually am local to and can work out with in a person-to-person basis instead of risking flaming each other over the internet right away. So the goal of that is to work out kinks. So shipping kinks, selling kinks, maybe the version that's flashed on there is wrong. So that's kind of the soft launch stage. So you basically want to do a dry run or basically do everything except make it publicly available to everyone. And so that's what this launch one is, and that's why it's a shorter list. These are the things that I need to do before I launch publicly. Now, I think this open source board designs actually should be under soft launch, but yeah. That's what I'm working towards. As I'm starting with this list. I finally got that list done, almost, and then production test stuff. So I'm going to do some beta flight work. Actually going to try to run the beta flight on the F4s because it's coming soon, and that would make my life simpler. And then I need to finish the test helpers, and then I need to do all the website stuff, which is not a small thing either, but it'll get done. So let's go to packaging. Now I use a program called Inkscape, but it doesn't work. I've got two views. I've got this view. This is my laptop camera. And then I've got a monitor here. And Inkscape doesn't like to work when I'm doing two monitors, so I'm not actually going to show you Inkscape. What I'll show you instead is just the high resolution renders that I did for the printing. If I went back and did it, I should have had separate SVGs for every file. But by sharing a file, it's easy to share assets like the chickadee logo amongst them all. So I did 300 dpi raster exports. Hopefully it's okay. So I'm just going to flick through this, and what kind of the layout that we settled on is polystack and then the kind of category of the board, like mod. So it's power, control, mod, up the stack, and you need at least, to fly, you need a power board, a control board, and a receiver mod. This is one example. So here's the title of what it is, the URL that you go to get started. One tip, one caveat that can kind of just help. It's not full instructions, but it's at least if you're gonna try to do it without reading the instructions, which I don't recommend the first time. This is just watch out for this, that sort of thing. And then here's the diagram that we have for how to stack. So you say on the screws, you put your D4R, you put the D pins D4R, and then you use 4mm spaces. And then if you get into trouble, here's our email. And so that's the sticker that goes on the package. It's pretty simple, but it gives you kind of a few hooks into getting going. I'm just alphabetically going down my file names. So here, this is the debug board. We also have the polystack.org URL. We have another tip, And of course, I find a problem with it. I just ordered these last night, so I can't change it. But there's a missing colon here. Oh, that's okay. There's going to be things like that regardless of how much diligence you do. One subtle thing is that with the stickers, there's like 3 zones to it. There's a middle area that's kind of the safe area, the area you know you're going to fit on. And then there's like a little bit of area outside of that that's not necessarily safe, because they'll print it out on the sticker and then they'll cut it, and the cut is like 2 millimeters precise. So there's some wiggle there that you have to account for. And then lastly, there's a bleed area. So like you always want to make sure that anything that you want to go to the very edge of the sticker is like actually extends outside into this bleed area, which is the area that you don't really expect to ever have it on the sticker, but it's there to just make sure that the colors stay like you want. And that's why on here you can see there's a lot of blank area on the outside. So there would be like the unsafe area and then the bleed area next to it. And I found a bug, but that's okay. So I'll just run through these. You can see they're similarly laid out. The flight control ones are more complicated because they actually include like the full instructions. They include the hardware, like the nuts and the screws and the spacers, and then also the lock nuts to go on top. So simple tip, update the firmware. I'm surprised that some people don't do this, but updating the firmware is so critical, because like I'm getting it manufactured at like the manufacturer dates are the end of June. So I need like a week lead time there. So I've got to pick what software to put on there a week before they go into production. So you're looking like mid to late June. So whatever beta flight is the best and whatever race flight is the best, I'll pick at the like mid to end of June. But then I'm not probably going to launch until the mid-July. So the software is already a month old at that point, because we flashed it, we packaged it, we're not going to take it out of the packaging and flash it again. So you're going to end up getting the boards, unless you're in Seattle multi-rotors, like mid-July to late July or August. So it's always smart in these cases to update the firmware. Not only will like have beta flight or race flight changed, but also there may have been bugs in the code that I've added to add support for that. So to do that, you just go to this URL. It'll both show you instructions and link you to the appropriate files. So the F3s and the F4s look pretty similar. They're not perfectly aligned, which drives a little spike through my head, but that's okay. And these are the test ones. They look pretty good. And so these 4 are the rectangular marketing stickers I created. Just a big chickadee logo, a polystack logo, chickadee in a tree, which I kind of like. The color theme is meant to match the boards, because the boards will be black with copper. Copper traces transparent solder masks, so you'll be able to see the copper. White silk screen, and then gold-plated pads, like the chickadee. There's my quad in a tree, and I put a chickadee in the tree too. Let's do the rest of these. So there's the power board. You can see that there's a pretty common theme amongst all of the... Let's just skip those. So it's 12 different designs, and I figured out how many of each design I needed. And then I did 50 total designs to make sure that the proportions were what I expected. And then I also did round promotional stickers, and I did 9 different designs of that. So these promotional stickers will actually be included in the package. So you'll open it, you pull out your board, you pull out the sticker, and all that. So polystack, open source hardware, chickadee tree, tree made out of traces, made in the USA. a diagram of a stack, and then the copper variant of the chickadee and the polystack. So these are square images, but they'll be round stickers because they have lots of bleed in the corners, and they just like the rectangular stickers, there's a safe area, and then there's like an unsafe area around the outside. Yeah, so that's stickers and packaging. The end result should be that you get a less wrinkly paper bag like this with 3 bags of stuff inside, 2 or 3 bags. If you don't get the aluminum stuff, you won't get that a 3rd bag. You'll get a promotional sticker, and then you'll get this sticker on the front or the back. We'll see which, and that'll give you a little bit of information about it. Yeah, so that's the packaging plan. Just like ordering all the materials for the boards themselves, you also need all the packaging there. That's all I can think of. There's nobody in chat to ask any questions. But so yeah, timeline is looking like we have 3 weeks, 2 weeks until the boards are actually manufactured. It's a little late actually because I'm actually going to be down there when they manufacture them. So we're slated to go to manufacture in just under 3 weeks, the 28th and 29th. And then after that, I'll be able to send them out to people in the Seattle Multi-Orders group and also the people from marketing. And if they don't find any showstoppers that we need to deal with, we'll hopefully launch on July 11th is what I'm looking at. And that's a Monday, and that's after I get back from vacation. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to know more about Chickadee Tech, the website is chickadee.tech, as you see here. It's also abbreviated ckd.tech if you want to do a short URL. That'll just redirect you to the full one. If you want more information on Polystack, you can go to polystack.org. Later on, of course, so you can see that in my timeline, it's later. So there's not much there at the moment, but there will be by the time that this packaging gets into people's hands. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and hope that fills in a piece of the puzzle that happens after the products, like the boards themselves, are ready to go. Figure out how they actually get sold and packaged and sent to people. Thanks for watching.